Hi guys, so today I want to make a really quick video about what you can do if you have zero experience in terms of work experience and life experience to make yourself stand out as a pilot. Now, if you're applying for programs and you're trying to get into flight schools and you're thinking, what can I do to make sure that I stand out as an applicant when I'm in a position where I've never been in any work environment before, I've never had any experience in customer service or teamwork or leadership? Well, hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have an idea of what you can do in order to make your particular situation stand out to a recruiter. But not only that, it will hopefully help you hone and sharpen those pilot competencies so that you can put them forward for the rest of your career. Now, something I was discussing today with a captain who was a particularly experienced captain. He had reached the heights of aviation, was a training captain, and he was in a particular position where he was able to offer me some information and education from his end. And what he said was that one thing that he found very powerful for particularly younger pilots who didn't have experience before, he said that on their CV, if there was anything that he could see that would stand out, he would really like to tap into that particular area for that candidate. So what he'd do is he'd initially not instigate the answer out of them. He wouldn't say to them, oh, you've mentioned this on your CV, because he has it in front of them. But what he'd do is wait till they start mentioning it. Then when they mention that particular subject or that particular topic, he would then delve a little bit deeper for them to help them, to make them a bit more comfortable with regards to answering the question. But what I want to drill in right now is that you have to have something that makes you unique on your CV, that makes you think a little bit differently than other candidates, and that makes the recruiter think a little bit differently about you than other candidates. Ultimately, we're in a game of attention seeking. It's as strange as it sounds, that is what we're doing when it comes to applying for any job, whether that's in aviation, whether that's in the corporate world. No matter where you are, it is about trying to attract someone's attention towards you and appeal to this particular company or recruitment team that you are the applicant that they're looking for. But how do you do that? You do that by being an outlier. You do that by not fitting in with the rest of the crowd and doing the same thing and answering in the same way that everybody else does. Now, one thing that I am a strong believer in is not necessarily knowing exactly what the answer is to a particular question that they may ask you. I know that there's loads of people out there that are going to say, this is the answer to this question, or this is the question they're going to ask you, and you need to have an answer for that question. I am a strong believer that that's not necessarily the case. I believe that if you build strong foundations, if you have life stories to tell, if you go out there and do things that people don't do, if you genuinely live those moments, you don't just say, I worked in Sainsbury's and I pushed trolleys and this is why I want to be a pilot because I know that I'm good with customer service and I've worked in these adaptable environments, so I can prove that I can show good communication skills, good teamwork skills. Yeah, these are valuable ways of showing those skills. But let's say you did something even more spectacular. Let's say for charity, you had a strong passion and we're going to do a particular challenge and we're going to complete that challenge. It's funny because when I go back to school, everybody used to make fun of D of E and say, you're only going to get a job if you do D of E as a satirical joke to say, realistically, what's it going to do? Actually, when it comes to being a pilot, those kind of things are actually what they're looking for. They're not looking for, how many clients you sold on a particular business deal. What they're looking for is your competencies. They're looking for, how did you sell those clients? Did you utilize good communication skills? Did you utilize good leadership skills? But then if I'm bringing it back to the guys that are in school, they're not looking for ample and years of experience. If you're someone that's young and you can prove to them that you have a massive, broad spectrum of experience that might not necessarily be work experience, but might be catered more towards just life experience. Like you went to football clubs, you went to tennis clubs, you went to all of these clubs, and not only that, you did the cadets with the RAF, you did all of these extracurricular things, these things that you didn't have to do. Everybody has to go to school. Doing a sport, something that this particular captain said, and I've heard from many, many people, doing a sport is an incredibly valuable skill to have when it comes to being a pilot, because you demonstrate so many competencies by excelling in a sport. So I would highly recommend, if you aren't in a sporting environment and you want to be a pilot, try and outsource some kind of sport, because it's going to really, really hone your skills as a pilot. Now, if you're not a sporty person and you just hate sports and that you can't imagine any sport that you're going to be good at, that's one, a limiting belief on your part, but two, there are other options. So if you like music, go and learn a musical instrument. If you like languages, go and learn a new language, because those things are going to be transferable. Those are going to build your communication skills, build your problem solving, your decision making. Those are the things that are going to improve those particular skills. And those are going to make you, one, a better human being overall, and two, in the long run, it's going to help you in your career of becoming a pilot and in your career excelling as a pilot too. We can all be computers. We can all robotically answer every question that an interviewer asks us. We can all do that. We can all get a script for, this is exactly what the questions that they're going to ask, and we'll answer them exactly word for word as to what we're going to expect from the interviewer. Or what we can do is build our skills from the ground up, work on ourselves, build a massive foundation of talents and creativity and teamwork skills and leadership skills, and build this massive foundation of qualities that make up a good pilot. We can build those instead. And then when it comes to the interview, you have all of this to give to them and show them, this is why you deserve to be a pilot. This is why you deserve to work for this particular airline or this particular flight school, because you've done all of this stuff. Not because you know the answer to their question or what they're looking for, but because you have real world experience. It doesn't necessarily have to be work experience, but real world experience that proves why you are a good communicator, why you are a good leader. It's so important that you outsource extracurricular activities to adapt to these skills. Now, I'm working with a client at the moment. I can't, of course, say his name due to the disclosure of it, but this particular client, he is 17 years old, and what we've done together is get him in to the best flight school in the UK. And what is fantastic about it is that he has never worked a day in his life. He's always been at school, and he worked for his dad for a little while. He's never gone into the retail world and worked. And so what I did with this particular client is I found areas where he can demonstrate his competencies outside of work. Things that work doesn't necessarily teach you. For example, he was on holiday, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying this. One of his family members went missing. Now, I know what you're thinking, well, how does this apply to an interview? Like, I have to uphold a level of professionalism, I have to uphold, like, this is the structure, and they're going to ask me about my work and all of these things. Well, actually, when it comes to competency-based questions, what they're trying to figure out is, when have you demonstrated a particular competency in terms of when have you demonstrated teamwork? When have you demonstrated communication, for example? Now, in his particular example, and this is something that we drew on really deeply, is his particular scenario where a person in his family went missing. What we did was we formulated the response that when that family member went missing, and this is something that we worked together towards understanding. So it wasn't just a matter of like, So give me an example when you've done teamwork. And then he just came up with, when my family, one of my family members went missing on holiday. No, we had to really delve deep into the stories that he had built throughout his entire life to find these competencies, because they're inbuilt within all of you guys. All of you will have teamwork. All of you will have elements of leadership. You'll have done these things throughout the entirety of your life. There's no way that if you're thinking, have I demonstrated a particular competency? There's no way you haven't. We're human beings. We've all been in positions and situations where we've had to demonstrate these things. The important bit is trying to identify when and where you've actually displayed these particular competencies. So in this particular situation, what we found was that he had to coordinate with his family a kind of search party to find this lost family member. So that's what we worked on. We worked on demonstrating his teamwork and communication skills through that incident that happened that was completely unwork related. And thankfully, he managed to get through the selection process. He managed to pass his interview really well. We worked really, really closely, and I wasn't working with him to just answer the question. What I was working with him on was to demonstrate experiences in your life that can actually display why you would be a good pilot. Of course, I could have said to him, this is going to be the question, this is how you should answer it, and go away and do it like that. Yeah, I could do something like that. But what my aim is to build elite level pilots and build competencies that you can carry out for the rest of your life. Build characters and people that can go into any interview room and really, really express themselves and express their passion towards working for a particular airline or a particular job. And I really want to build that with you. I don't want you to just go in there and think, I need to know the answer to this question, because you're then always going to need someone to help you with these particular assessments. I find that people who rely heavily on just receiving information are the ones that are not going to excel in a career as a pilot. And the captain that I flew with who discussed these things, he was a training captain, and what he said was the same thing. He said a lot of people expect to be spoon-fed information. Now, I didn't spoon-feed my client information. I drew it out of him, and it was from his own brain, his own mind, and his own experiences that he found this information and that we applied it to the interview. And that is more powerful, in my opinion, than just being told this is what you should say. So what I want you to take away from this is any experience in your life that you've had, in your past, in your present, and in your future as well. I want you to write them down. Keep a little journey log in your notes tab on your phone or something like that. If you keep tabs on all of these experiences you have throughout life, I can guarantee when it comes to any competency-based question, you're always going to have examples of where you have demonstrated a particular characteristic or pilot competency. Now, this bit of advice that I have just given you, I hope that you implement it, because it will change your life. If you're one day, 30 years down the line, this really experienced captain at Emirates, and then all of a sudden you want to take a switch to be a training captain at Emirates, and then they're asking you certain questions. Before you go into any interview, all you'll have to do is go through your journals or whatever diaries that you make, go through them and look at what experiences you had throughout your life. You can literally go as far back as today. If you start today, 30 years from now, you're going to be able to see everything you've done from today. And so when you go into an interview and someone asks you a question, when have you demonstrated communication skills? In that little diary of yours, you are going to have thousands of examples. And so all you'll need to do is regurgitate one of those examples. So before any interview that you take, you will have a special manual, and that is your particular manual, your special manual that you'll be able to use for the rest of your life. And this is what I teach to my clients. This is what I teach to the guys that I work with. It's not a matter of this is the question, learn the answer. No, I want you to build experiences, build a picture of yourself that shows why you deserve these particular roles. The amount of guys I meet who are pilots that say they've had imposter syndrome, they've had all of these thoughts go through their head because they don't know whether or not they're worthy of being in this position. And I think a part of that, even for myself at times, is because you don't really consider how much you might have done in your life. You don't really consider what experiences have led you to this point. And so what we find is that we get to this point and we think everybody else has helped me get here. But the reality is, all of these experiences you've had throughout the entirety of life has led you to this position. You're now sat in this interview room in front of a panel of pilots, basically expressing why you deserve to become a pilot as well. And how you express that is through your experiences, through the things you've done in the past, and through those competencies that you can demonstrate through those experiences. Now, I hope you guys have taken some value from this, and if you have, all I ask is that you leave a like, you subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment as well. Ask me any questions you have. I am in the process of making a lot of videos to respond to some of your questions. At the moment, because summer's approaching, I'm starting to get busier and busier with work, but I will never ever stop being consistent on this channel. I will continue to be consistent. That is a goal of mine and a discipline that I uphold. As you guys know, I'm a very, very big advocate for discipline, and I will remain disciplined and keep regurgitating content out there for you guys so that you can continue to develop, continue to grow as pilots. My goal is to make a massive community of really, really well-established aspiring pilots, and that is hopefully what you guys are experiencing at the moment. That being said, thank you for listening, and I hopefully will see you guys very, very soon.